Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful tri-state area. Welcome to our 150th episode. It's always a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly does make it all worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And all episodes of A Moment of Zen stream 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV platform. That's free programming to you, and you can always head directly to our channel on YouTube at Zen Sams. In our Going Deep segment brought to you by CO2 Lift, we're featuring Ryan Bourgeois, an aesthetic nurse practitioner and founder of Bougie Aesthetics. He prides himself on natural facial balancing, and impressively, he was voted top medical aesthetic practice in Fort Worth, Texas. He joins me today to chat latest non-surgical procedures, his most requested beauty treatment, and the latest trends and uses for carboxytherapy for skin rejuvenation. In our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're featuring Monica Castro. She's a board-certified behavior analyst, medical mama, influencer, and Down syndrome advocate. Her first daughter, Rio, was born with unique challenges. She was born completely blind with Down syndrome. Monica is here to chat disability awareness and inclusion, demystifying stigmas, and balancing life with medical complexities. In our Discover Your Potential segment brought to you by Body Align, we are joined by our newest contributor and podcaster, Anna DeVere. She's joined by Morgana Ray, a 20-time #1 international best-selling author of Financial Alchemy. Today, they're here to chat all about her book, Improving Your Relationship with Money and Becoming a Money Magnet. In America's favorite pharmacist segment brought to you by BuyOptimizers.com, we have pharmaceutical expert Phil Cowley covering all things sleep. He'll chat common disorders and the simple and quick fixes available to you over the counter. Stay tuned for our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, featuring the incredible Monica Castro, behavior analyst, medical mama, influencer, and Down syndrome advocate. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeart Radio.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland here on A Moment of Zen, brought to you by Your Home TV. We've developed an all-inclusive subscription-free network that you're going to love, whether it's financial freedom, fashion, beauty, health and wellness, wonderful weddings, travel and culture, cooking, entertainment, and short-form documentaries, programming for everyone. Classic films and new shows, including Kathy Ireland Presents American Dreams. We've developed this network just for you. Please check out yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, zero additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, today we're featuring Monica Castro. She's mother of 2 daughters. Her first daughter, Rio, was born with unique challenges, born completely blind with Down syndrome. Now, instead of allowing these challenges to define her daughter's life, Monica decided to use her knowledge and expertise in ABA, that's Applied Behavior Analysis, to help Rio and other children like her thrive. With over 2 decades of experience, Monica is a board-certified behavior analyst, and her passion for her work goes far beyond just her credentials. It's rooted in her personal experiences. She's committed to making a positive impact on the lives of children and adults with disabilities. Originally hailing from Hudson County, New Jersey, Monica's journey has taken her to the vibrant city of Miami, Florida, where she's established herself as a prominent figure in the field of applied behavior analysis. Monica provides services to families in both South Florida and Hudson County, New Jersey. Now, Down syndrome, also called trisomy 21, is the most common chromosomal condition in the United States. Now, a chromosomal condition, also called genetic condition, happens when there's a problem in one or more chromosomes. And now, chromosomes are the structures that hold genes. And genes are part of your body's cells that store instructions for the way your body grows and works. Now, genes are passed from parents to children. About 1 in 700 babies, that's less than 1%, is born with Down syndrome. Many children with Down syndrome lead healthy lives, active lives. They can go to school, participate in activities, and enjoy being social with others. Now, each person has 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 46 in all. So for each pair, you get one chromosome from your mother and one from your father. Babies with Down syndrome have an extra copy of chromosome 21, and this extra copy changes the way the brain and body develop. Welcoming now to the show, chatting disability inclusion, demystifying stigmas, balancing her life with medical complexities, is the amazing Monica Castro. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, you are quite the unique mom and influencer and ABA specialist. Can you tell us more about yourself and your journey from Hudson County over here in New Jersey to becoming a prominent specialist in the field of applied behavior analysis all the way in Miami, Florida?
Sure. So I was born in Union City, Hudson County, New Jersey, and I lived there till about my early 20s. Then I went to undergrad in Wheeling, West Virginia for 4 years. And there I had my first professional job in a group home, an adult care group home, where I worked with individuals, adults with developmental disabilities. And that's where I fell in love with behavior analysis. After that, I said, oh, this is a career for me. I really enjoy this. I loved working with the adults. I stayed there. I've never worked anywhere else. Well, dabbled on a little side things here and there, but mainly that's always been what I've done. Then I went on to get my master's in applied behavior analysis and became a behavior analyst. I moved to Miami for my master's program. In Miami, that's what I did. I worked as direct care. I worked in schools. I worked in group homes. I worked in other people's companies doing ABA. And that's what I did until I had my first daughter. And as a surprise, my first daughter was born with Down syndrome, but also a condition called bilateral microphthalmia, which means microphthalmia means small eyes. So her eyes didn't develop in utero. Some people have this and can see, or can see a little bit. She is completely blind. Hers, she does not have any vision. So she has eyes, but they're very small. However, she wears a lens. It's called a conformer. It's like a hard acrylic type shell that they place in her eyes so that her sockets grow appropriately with her face. And that's how I always say that, like, this was meant to be. Like, there was no better mom on that day to have this baby.
Well,
Because I
that's
was
for
very
sure.
prepared.
Well, that is really God. God never gives you more than you can't handle. And you prepared your entire life for this. And with over 2 decades of experience as a board certified behavior analyst, you were inspired to specialize in this kind of work, working with children with disabilities even before having Rio. So that speaks volumes. And what I also like to kind of point out here is, what was your inspiration to even start working with children with disabilities? Like, what
Yeah.
drove you to that?
I think I was always interested in psychology. I was always interested in helping. And it just, the universe aligned, and that was a job that was available. I said, oh, that looks interesting. It was an entry level position. I said, I'm going to try that. I applied, I got it. And I went. And when I went, I loved being in the home with these adults. I loved just I was able to help them lead a normal life, as normal as possible life.
Well,
And it
you
gave me,
fulfilled a purpose. I mean, you
right.
have come full circle. And for those listening, it's important to point out some of the factors that can affect your risk of having a baby with Down syndrome. So, your age when you get pregnant, right? Your risk of having a baby with Down syndrome increases as you get older, especially if you are age 35 or older. Being a carrier of a certain type of Down syndrome. So, if you or your partner are a carrier, and you can go get genetic testing for this, of one type of Down syndrome, you carry a gene change for the condition, but you don't actually have the condition. You can pass the gene change to your baby, but it's rare. So you definitely have to be proactive in, making sure that you're getting the right testing and already having a baby with Down syndrome. So if you already have a baby with Down syndrome, your risk for having another is higher, which leads me to my next question. So your daughter Rio, the unique challenges that you just described, she was born blind with Down syndrome. You were not made aware of her diagnosis, and this was a surprise to you. So,
Yeah.
how has your personal experience with Rio influenced your dedication to helping children like her thrive?
Yeah. Well, it was a surprise diagnosis. I was not aware. There's a long story behind that, but it's a beautiful story. But I didn't want to know the gender. So I asked, I did have testing done, but I said, I don't want to know the gender. They gave me the results. I folded it, I put it in a purse. I never looked at that purse. Well, there was more information in that paper.
Wow.
That paper told me her gender, and it also said like 95% chance of Down syndrome. Now, yes, the person who, my doctor did say, you should look at this because, but she kind of was really nonchalant about it. And like, I don't know. And it just, like, I was like, oh, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was very strange. It was all meant to be. So
It
then
was all meant to be.
it was all meant to be. So I did have those results actually. And I looked at them like a year later and I was like, wow, that's nuts. But so that's how that happened. But yeah, so when she was born, I'm not gonna lie, that first year was hard for me. Even though everything I know, I had to I had to recover. It was hard for me. I struggled bad postpartum that first year, um, postpartum depression. But I made it, and it was like something clicked. I was like, the moment that I really realized that I did have all the tools, that there was no one better for the job, I was like empowered. You know what I mean? I did a lot of work, a lot of therapy, and then I was able to like, oh wait, I can, this baby's going to thrive, like I have all the tools, I know what to do. Like, how amazing is that? So I just focused on that. And then we just started teaching her and teaching her from very little. She's always learning. She loves to learn. She's easy, she's so easy to teach. And, and then because of that, I was like, wait a minute, I know how to do these things. Why am I working for everybody else building their businesses? Like, I can do this for other children. So then I was like, it was an even bigger connection to the families that I serve. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I get to do it my way now. And with the experience that I had. So then I said, oh, I'm going to open up my own business. And that's how Rio's Place came.
What a beautiful story. Now, wow, I just got chills. Could you elaborate on, you teach essential life skills, right? So can you elaborate on the essential life skills you focus on teaching to children with disabilities?
Sure. And it's all really individualized, right? So every child is different. I can, for example, I do all of Rio's teaching, and someone like Rio who is blind, I have to teach her pretty much everything because she cannot see. So there's no learning by watching, how a lot of little kids learn from modeling your behavior. She can't do that. So anything, feeding herself, going to the restroom, pulling down pants, putting on a shirt, um, eh, saying hello to someone, greeting someone, waiting, um, everything. How I have to
Everything.
everything. How to get on the bus in the morning. We have a procedure. How to get out of the bus. We have a procedure. How to put her seatbelt on. We have a procedure. Everything has a procedure, like a step-by-step way that I teach her the same way every day. Anybody who works with her teaches her the same way. That's so that it comes in clear, there's no mistakes, seamless.
I love it. Now, in addition to working with children, you're also dedicated to empowering the families so they could navigate the complexities of raising children with disabilities. Now, how do you offer that kind of support and guidance
Sure.
for these families? Do you go into their home? What's your
Yeah, yeah,
process?
yeah, yeah. So I go into a home, I get a client, I will go into their home, I meet with the family personally. Um, because I have my experience, I connect. I can connect with them. I know what they've been through. I've had a diagnosis. I know exactly where you've been. I've been there. So I think that that's a benefit for me to connect with them, and they know that they can trust me, they can rely on me, I know what to do. So I think that gives them, I hope it gives them like some solace, like some comfort. Oh, I'm in good hands, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. You are definitely the comfort zone because now you are the real mom in the room, often guiding these moms who are scared and afraid and clueless, and so you are doing God's work.
Yeah.
So, I always say early intervention is vital for anything, right? For anything. So, but Down syndrome, it can't be cured. Treatment and teaching life skills go a very long way to improve a child's
Mhm.
life and eventually the adult's quality of life. So what you're doing is priceless. And treatment programs often include, to your point, physical, speech, and occupational therapies, life skills classes, and educational opportunities. And here you are offering all of this directly to your daughter. She got the real guide that she
Mhm.
was supposed to get, and God always has a plan. So let's talk about disability awareness and inclusion. So how do you approach demystifying stigmas surrounding disabilities, and what steps can individuals take to contribute to a more inclusive society?
I think number one, we all have to start with challenging like our own internalized ableism and how we feel, and really facing that and learning about it. That's number one. I know I had to do that. Number two is I have to be very firm in where I take her. I take her wherever, right? We're going to go, even though it might be uncomfortable because maybe, for example, to a movie, we have to work on going to a movie because she's not going to just go to a movie and enjoy a movie. Blind people watch movies. It has nothing to do with being blind. It's with, can she sit? Will she start making noises? Is that going to bother the other people around? So I had to
Right.
work on that, you know? So obviously I want her to enjoy the movie. That's number one. I'm taking her to a movie because she wants to. But then I have to expose her. The more that I keep exposing Rio to everything, not thinking about it, not worried about what is everybody going to say, are other people going to feel uncomfortable? You know, I can't, I, I, I would have thought of that before and I had to work on that, you know, but now I say, no, here we are. This is who we are. You know, you welcome us. And when I made that decision, because I had to work on that, and when I made on that decision that I was gonna, it doesn't matter, we're going anywhere and everywhere we want to go, you want to go, and you get to experience all of it. I think that just her, I know it's just one person, but that's one person's presence in this environment that maybe all these people that happen to be there, it's the first time they see it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, you
You
have
just have
to
to do the work.
roadmap it. You have to do the work. Now, balancing life with medical complexities is very challenging, without a doubt. You are a warrior, a super mama. I
Oh,
admire you, and I'm so inspired by you and your story. But how do you balance your own family and at the same time you have another daughter? So how do you make sure that everyone gets what they need, and it's no easy feat?
yeah. I mean, I have to say that I'm blessed that Rio's medical complications have been slim. And I thank God every day that she hasn't had some of the medical issues that other children with Down syndrome can have. But with that said, we have a lot of appointments, a lot of eye doctors, a lot of speech, a lot of OT, all these different therapies, you know, we're going. I do it because I'm not alone. I'm lucky, I'm blessed to have a lot of support. My mother, you know, her nanny that has been with her since 3 months old, her amazing school. She goes to a amazing school for the blind that is just, I've been with them since she was 3 months old, and they're everything to me. I love them. And I'm not alone. I have a huge support team, and not everybody gets that. And I know I'm blessed for that. Um, but I think I've just, it's like, you know, when you accept something, this is my life, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And the moment that, because in the beginning it was hard, I like to keep going that it wasn't like this always, but when I said I get to switch, I get to accept this and I get to make the best. I get to make this the most beautiful thing to me. And it is. I thank every day for Rio. My life wouldn't be what it is without her. So many opportunities, so many doors opened because of her. I wouldn't have done any of it without her, so it was just exactly what I needed. But when I made the switch, this is my life.
You're going to make me cry.
It's okay. And since that, not just my business goals, but my personal goals. Right. I've never been more fit in my life. I'm 46.
You're a hottie.
I've never, anything I say, we're doing this, we're going to do it. Like, she just empowered me, gave me courage, there's not that many things that I'm afraid of now.
Oh, well, after the road that you've gone, you went down where there was no path and left a great big trail, and that's what makes you special.
Oh,
you are amazing. Thank you so much. We are out of time. I just want to thank you for coming on, for being so transparent, for being so open, and really just being an incredible warrior to the most incredible little girl.
Well, thank you, Zen. I appreciate this. This was really nice. Thank you.
Now, while Down syndrome remains the most common chromosomal disorder that children are born with in the United States today, the future is getting so much brighter for them. People with the condition are prospering and their lifespans are increasing thanks to improvements of treatment and therapies. The average age of survival continues to increase, and that's a great sign. At the turn of the 20th century, children with Down syndrome rarely lived past 10 years old. Now, thanks to advancements in treatments, the majority of people with the condition will live pretty much full life. That was our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. Do check out the incredible Monica Castro on the gram at Rio's Place ABA, or you can check out her website at riosplace.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Gretchen Filia is a proponent of American industry. Join her on the ultimate road trip across America, where she highlights the people, places, and experiences that show the American dream and the spirit of its people. Check out Fabric of America on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2 Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2 Lift. CO2 Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2 Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. In our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift, we're featuring Ryan Bourgeois, FNP-C, and that means an aesthetic nurse practitioner. He's founder of Bougie Aesthetics, and he prides himself on natural facial balancing. Impressively, he was voted top medical aesthetic practice in Fort Worth, Texas. He joins me today to chat latest non-surgical procedures, his most requested beauty treatment, and the latest trends and uses for carboxytherapy for skin rejuvenation. Carboxytherapy, or what they call carbon dioxide therapy, is a non-invasive procedure involving the therapeutic use of carbon dioxide for skin regeneration. When infused into the skin, CO2 immediately diffuses at the cutaneous and muscular microcirculatory levels, resulting in higher tissue oxygenation and neoangiogenesis. Basically, the blood vessels widen, they increase the transport of oxygen body tissues for cellular regeneration and anti-inflammatory effects. It's all in the science. It's a treatment that's been around since the 1930s, but the method of delivery has improved since then with a gel delivery system called CO2 Lift. But don't take my word for it. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing Ryan Bourgeois. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Thank you, Zen, so much. Appreciate it for this time.
All right, let's dive right in. So it's a little known secret that you dabbled in TV as an actor in soap operas, and I heard that you were a medical consultant for Days of Our Lives and General Hospital, collaborating on scenes with directors and actors to bring believability. What made you transition into medicine, and what inspired you to become an aesthetic nurse practitioner?
So at first, I was a registered nurse, and I wanted to go out to Hollywood to chase that pipe dream of being an actor. My mother said that you need to have a contingency plan before you break upon that goal. So I said, okay, got my RN, moved directly out to LA, and hit the ground running. I was on General Hospital from 2002 to 2009. I've always been in medicine. I've got 18 years of emergency medicine as my background, 5 years of aesthetics. So, but yeah, that I used my nursing background to help me get into the industry.
It's a beautiful mesh of art and science, and you're living out your dream. You went where there is no path, my dear, and you left a great big trail. Very proud.
Thank
So
you.
you were voted top medical aesthetic practice in Fort Worth. Can you share some key elements that contribute to your success and how you approach natural? I know you're all about facial balancing in your practice.
Yeah, I like my patients to look as natural as possible. I don't follow the trends of everybody putting a bunch of filler in the face. I don't feel like filler is the answer. I feel like biorejuvenation is the answer with types of treatments like Sculptra or Radiesse or even the carboxy mask, PRP. I like stuff like that. So, truth be told, that's what's in. I have Sculptra in my face. I've got Radiesse in my face, and that's why I'm 46 years old and look as natural as possible. I don't have hardly any filler. I just feel like like I said, you're not treating facial aging. You know what I mean? With the bioregeneration, you're using collagen stimulation in order to combat facial aging because you lose at the age of 20, you start losing 1% per year. So if you're 40 years old, you've already lost 20% of your collagen. Not to mention, the bony changes that you're going to have and how, you have maxillary recession, you have mandibular recession, ramus recession. And there's ways that I go about treating that to try to protect the bone per se as you get older.
Well, you look fantastic, so
Well,
I'll
thank
take
you.
your word for it. So, what are some of the latest and most innovative non surgical procedures in the field of aesthetics? And how have these procedures evolved over the years? I'm curious to know the benefits they offer compared to surgical options.
So I work hand in hand with local plastic surgeons. I have dinner with a plastic surgeon this evening. And the reason I do that is because the treatments that I provide, I want to make sure that down the road, when they do decide to have that facelift, that I don't hinder his job. So the way that I take my approach is, for one, I like to inject the Sculptra down on the bone, a periosteal level, in order to create that collagen fibrin matrix in order to protect the bone. And it's to be told that, Sculptra is more of a fibroplasia, so it's more fibrotic tissue. And to me, you want something that's fibrotic, it's sticky, it's adherent, it's going to keep the face nice and lifted. At the surface level, I like to use Radiesse. Radiesse is also a collagen stimulator, but it's a different type of collagen stimulator. And the fact that it's not only type 1 collagen, it's type 3 collagen. There's also elastin, which gives your skin the stretch. There's proteoglycans involved, which actually pull water, provide hydration to the face. And that's how Radiesse gives you that beautiful skin glow that you get. So those are the kind of approaches that I like to take. I like mixing it with PRP. That's your blood, it's your growth factors. I actually have a treatment too that I do called Easy Gel. I take your blood, I spin it, I activate it, and then I heat it up and I turn your blood into a filler. And then I inject your blood back into your face. And over time, you're going to release those growth factors. And when you put those types of things together, the plasma, the Sculptra, the Radiesse, the bioregenerative treatments, that is treating facial aging.
Combo therapies are so important, and I think carboxytherapy, if we're going to circle back to this, it's interesting to me because it was the number one of the number top 3 Google searches for Q3 of 2020, Q4 of 2023. So carboxytherapy, as you know better than anyone, uses carbon dioxide to stimulate blood and lymph circulation to the area being treated and improve, of course, circulation and elasticity and fine lines and wrinkles. But the old way to administer carboxytherapy was by subdermal injection of CO2 with a thin high gauge needle, right? But this application caused some pain and tons of discomfort and left minor bruising. So, what is the new improved method, and what is CO2 lift carboxytherapy gel?
So yeah, the CO2 lift, it's a topical form of providing the carbon dioxide that's going to lead to the vasodilation and the rush of oxygen, nutrients, blood to the surface to help with the healing. It's amazing. How I first got into it was, I'm very skeptical with anything. I had a patient that came to me for actually some facial work, and she had a psoriatic lesion on her leg. And she said, "Do you know what this is?" I said, "It looks like psoriasis or the eczema. I've came across this mask that we're doing on the face, and I'm seeing good results. And it's used for actually the issue that you have. I would love to, as an experiment, put it on you and see what happens." And within one treatment, she had a 90% improvement. And that was, I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. I was like, okay. And then I started diving into this, going, what really is this? And how does it work so well? And, you know, we offer free bruise treatments here at Bougie. And so we use a Lutronic Ultra. I use a laser that to kind of stimulate the bruise and to help heal it a lot faster. On one of the cases, we did that, and then we put the CO2 mask on top of it, and the actual bruise came out of the skin and onto the mask.
Wow.
Pictures of that too. It was, and then so the mask, the part where she had the bruise on her chin, the mask was purple. So you're using the laser to break up the bruise, you know, to blast it, open it up. And then you're using that CO2 mask, you know, to rush that oxygen rich blood to the area, which in turn led it to come out of the skin. It was crazy. But yeah,
that's fantastic. I mean, it's all science, because what you just said is the exact science behind carbon dioxide therapy. It increases the presence of wound repair factors and growth factors, to your point, which then helps cells turn over faster, reducing the appearance of aging and scars and stretch marks and so much more. In this case, you know, reducing the appearance of the bruise, but stimulating collagen, back to your point that you made at the beginning, and elastin production promotes elasticity and helps retain hydration. And to my understanding, this product does that. But then it also improves local metabolism and elimination of waste products, which then helps the body to heal localized damage, such as scars or acne and hyperpigmentation. Now, I particularly have a true story. I just recently, December 18th, explanted my breast implants with Dr. Rankin in Jupiter, Florida, and opted for a natural lift. I then called the founder and I asked her about CO2 lift, and she said, Dr. Hoyos compared this to a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. He uses it after open flap surgery. So I put it on my scars 3 days post surgery I had an anchor lift done. Can I tell you that I'm 3 weeks out and I have minimal to no scarring compared to women who are 9 months out of surgery. So it's fantastic, regenerating and repairing damaged tissue to help clients achieve better looking skin, and even, you know, damaged skin is incredible. So I'm glad that you endorse it. Now, can you share with us your most requested beauty treatment at Bougie and what makes this particular treatment so popular among your clients?
It's the bioregenerative treatments for sure. It's the Sculptra and the Radiesse that people come in, you know, requesting. A lot of people come in and they see the befores and afters. I've got well over 800 on Instagram, and they trust me. So they come in and I'll ask them what they're looking for. Like, what bothers you when you look in the mirror? Do you feel like you're sad? Do you feel like you're mad? Do you feel like you're, you know? And a lot of them people do. I don't see the person I see in the mirror. I feel a lot younger than what I look. So when they come and see me, I use those bioregenerative treatments, and it's usually not a one and done. It's, like I said, the way that I do it: Sculptra down on the bone for that architectural support, Radiesse to the surface to help, you know, rejuvenate that skin. But that's definitely the most requested. But we're the practitioner, right? Our job is to assess, diagnose, and to treat. So it's not like you come in here and there's a menu and go, well, I want lips and I want cheeks and I want chins or whatever it may be. It's about treating facial aging. It's as you age and you get certain ages, there's when you hit about mid-30s, you're going to start seeing, this is going to start going down. You're going to lose some of your deep fat. You're going to lose collagen elasticity. You're going to start having some tear trough changes. And that's very typical. I see that every generation that comes in, it's almost identical to the complaints that they have.
Yep.
With the 40s, it's different. In the 50s, it's different. And, but yeah.
Well, it seems like you have a nice grip on how to give a proper consultation and what to look out for and how to assess. And then, of course, steer them in the right direction. We have about a minute left, and I want to talk to you about advice for aspiring professionals, because I know you're very big on training. So for those aspiring to enter the field of aesthetic medicine, what advice would you give them, and how important is continuous learning and professional development in your field?
So I spend about 40 to 50,000 a year in education, and I go to the best of the best. And the reason I do that, when you look at a face, from an artistic standpoint, I can tell what it needs. But the problem is I didn't know how to get the outcome that I wanted. So I would say, who's the best? And I don't care what they cost. And I will go train with them. But the key is not to only train with them once. The key is to train with them and then go back and train with them again. Because once you implement their treatment and you do over 100 cases and you see befores and afters, go back to that doctor or that nurse practitioner that you learned from and ask them, about your outcomes. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And this is why you are as popular as you are, because you're very thorough. You cross all your T's and dot all your I's. You do your research and your homework, and you resort to long-term, beneficial, sustainable solutions versus fillers, and putting a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid. And then, you end up with all kinds of migration in the face from fillers that have been stacked or gone wrong. We are out of time. I want to thank you so much for coming on. You're full of knowledge, very entertaining to talk to. I'm glad you didn't choose the entire acting career path, because we definitely need you on the aesthetic side.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time, Zen.
That was our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift. That was the incredible Ryan Bourgeois, FNP-C, an aesthetic nurse practitioner and founder of Bougie Aesthetics in Fort Worth, Texas. You can check him out on the gram at Ryan_Bourgeois_FNP, or you can check them out at _Bougie Aesthetics. You can also head directly to their website at bougieaesthetics.net. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Disconnected Kids, Reconnected Families is a documentary-style reality series providing an in-home look at families who have children in need of intervention for conditions ranging from behavioral issues and oppositional defiance to autism and ADHD. Watch as Dr. Robert Milillo and his wife Carolyn go into the home and get real with the families. Using decades of experience, they help families not only face the issues head-on, but also overcome their challenges and reconnect as a family. Exclusively on Your Home TV network.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is sponsored by Body Align. Are you ready for a long winter's nap? Over 183 million adults have trouble sleeping at least once a week. That's why Body Align designed a wearable patch that helps you fall asleep faster, wake up feeling refreshed, and comes with a money-back guarantee. Try the Sweet Dreams patch today and get a buy one, get one free pack with the promo code DYP. Visit bodyalign.com and enter DYP at checkout, because discovering your potential starts with a great night's sleep. That's bodyalign.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome to 2024. We're 1 month in. What an incredible year. Time to transform, manifest, and grow. Up next in our Discover Your Potential segment, brought to you by Body Align, we're joined by our newest contributor, podcaster, and host, Anna Devere. She is joined by Morgana Ray, 20-time #1 international best-selling author of Financial Alchemy. It's 12 months of magic and manifestation. She's been a 7-figure spiritual life and business coach for over 30 years. Morgana's fans call her the money goddess because of the many documented stories of clients making unexpected incomes of 5, 6, and even 7 figures within hours of changing the relationship with money. Morgana has guided tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, artists, healers, and humanitarians to heal the rift between heart, spirit, and money to save the world as only they can. Sounds like a fairy tale. Today, they're here to chat all about her book, Improving Your Relationship with Money and Becoming a Money Magnet. Welcoming now to the show is my dear co-host, Anna DeVere, and superstar Morgana Ray. Welcome, stunners.
Ooh. What a cool conversation. I'm ready to dive into this, right?
Morgana, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's chat about your book, Financial Alchemy. So this workbook combines ancient wisdom and modern technologies to bridge the gap between material and spiritual prosperity so people can create a new loving relationship with money that supports, of course, enrichment. So you talk a lot about the relationship between love and money, and most people would love to have the secret behind becoming a money magnet. So can you explain why you focus on teaching people how to make money fall in love with them?
I found, because I've been coaching for 3 decades and many, many thousands of clients, what has been my observation is when you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and you're not getting the results you desire, whether it's in money, love, or health, but primarily in money, you are actually protecting yourself from what you want. And you have very good reason to do so. And if you're doing the right stuff over and over again and nothing is changing, there's something you're protecting yourself from. So I believe change happens at the speed of safety. After having
I love that.
Oh, thank you. After having tried every modality and mindset that I could find in the 2000s and the late 1900s, and nothing was working for me personally, what I found was if I made money a person, it made money more real for me. And what I discovered was the relationship with money that I had starting out was like a really terrible boyfriend who would tell me that I'm not good enough, that he was the best I would ever get, and I should be super grateful. But it was like he was stepping out on me all the time, just rejecting me, cheating on me. And it was soul crushing. So if you've ever had that kind of relationship, you know what I'm talking about. And if money is getting in the way, or the lack of money is getting in the way of what you want to be, do, or have, that's one side of the equation. Or if you have a lot of money, but it's causing all this drama and it's getting in the way of love. In any of these scenarios, money is sort of like a monster who is causing trouble in your life. And so we have a really healthy inclination to push the monster away without any conscious awareness of it. So
it's all about taming the monster. It's all about taming the monster and keeping the monster streamlined. So I have I'm going to lead it into Anna's next question. So Financial Alchemy has clearly been well received with tons of 5-star reviews stating how your book has changed their lives and, to what you alluded to, changed their income and drastically improved their relationship with money. Anna, you say this concept of making money fall in love with you worked for you immediately. So what changed for you based on Morgana's advice?
So creating a relationship with money like it's a real person, like it helped me pinpoint like what was missing and what I needed more of. And what that was somebody that had my back and somebody that loved me completely. So again, thinking about it like a relationship, I'm really changing my relationship with myself. But, like cognitive behavioral therapy will show you the solution. You're coming up with it, so you're more engaged with it. You're buying in more. It really attracted new things overnight and helped me face really big challenges. So that was a breakthrough.
It's a big, big breakthrough, and a
Mm.
tense relationship with money is certainly nothing new. In fact, according to the Mind Over Money survey by Capital One and the Decision Lab, 77% of Americans report feeling anxious about their financial situation. And this anxiety spills over into all parts of life, with 43% of respondents saying that they feel fatigued, 42% find it difficult to concentrate at work, 41% have trouble sleeping, and 25% said financial stress affects their relationships, to Morgana's point. So, Morgana, it sounds like the majority of Americans could benefit from your book.
Mhm.
What exactly is financial alchemy and what are the steps?
Thank you for asking. And when I talk about relationship with money, which I do all the time, I'm really also talking about our relationship with life, because money is the gatekeeper and just our very right to exist. Everything we need to survive is so tied up in money. So all of our life issues are going to show up in our relationship with money. So I call this financial alchemy, and this is different than law of attraction. And law of attraction has a tendency to only focus on the good stuff, the high vibes, the positive thinking, which has a very important place. But in my experience, if you're going to change something, you need to know where you're beginning. So the very first step is to get really, really honest about what is not right in the relationship. You, just like you are never going to be happily married to the bad boy who cheats on you, you're not going to have a good relationship with money if your current relationship with money is a monster. So alchemy is the transmutation of lead into gold. And in our purposes, your most leaden human experience. If you have a victim experience in your life, if you have had trauma, if you have anxiety right now, congratulations. You're already 90% of the way in step number one, which is to uncover what is not working in your relationship with money. So there are 6 steps. And the first one is to uncover the root cause. And here's the secret. The root cause to your money drama or your negative relationship with money is never actually about money. It's about what money represents. That's why we get so tense and tied up and freaked out about money, is because money represents power. Do we have power to make choices in our life? It represents love. Am I loved? Am I wanted? It represents worth, our
It's
value.
it's so full circle when you describe it and break it down like that. Anna, I'm curious to know, did you follow these steps and what did you find challenging?
I did. The workbook's really clear and I love goals and I like tweaking it, but the big breakthrough for me was realizing I hadn't conquered that money monster. So it was even last week that I realized, watching the movie The Sound of Freedom about human trafficking and, that story, where a child's taken into the jungle. I was vibing so hard on that feeling of hopelessness because I somewhere had a victim mentality still lurking. And the main bad guy had this scorpion tattoo. And I made the correlation, like that's my feeling, that hopelessness. And I realized the worst relationship in my life was with the Scorpio. I mean, I hate to get all astrological here, but in my mind, I put the two together and I realized I still have more digging to do. And that relationship did trigger me in the feeling like I'm completely hopeless no matter what I do. And that relates to money. And just feeling powerless, like no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to conquer it. So it's deep stuff, deep work.
Deep work, but the fact that you can identify it and the fact that you can respond accordingly, equipped with the knowledge and even financial alchemy to take you to the next level and get you through, is really, you've conquered half the battle. So, Morgana, financial alchemy takes you one step further, is what I'm hearing. It's a
Yeah.
total life transformation process, and you
I
talk.
have I've had clients, attract the love of their life in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. I've had clients spontaneously heal from diseases because it's all related. I tend to focus on money because it's so easy to measure and I have the most practice with that, but it really is our relationship with life. And what I loved hearing from Anna was that she is still able to access that victim experience because it actually is really valuable. We don't want to live as victims, no, but we want to be able to reach into that experience you've already had because it can be a source of power. It has that leverage. That's what the whole alchemy thing is about, is like going into what isn't working. Negritio is the first step, and it creates the tension that we can use to catapult you where you want to be. So we're not pretending. We're not positive thinking, just pretending everything is okay. We're actually using what isn't working and making that the fuel of transformation.
It's interesting because you talk extensively about enhancing your ability to attract only what you want while really discarding the rest, and a manifestation system that's irresistible to success, so to speak, right? But many would say this is similar to the law of attraction. So for those that are listening that aren't familiar, the law of attraction is a philosophy where positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts, of course, bring negative outcomes. So Morgana, how does financial alchemy take the law of attraction to extraordinary new heights, and how is it different?
Well, I have had the worst thing in my life that ever happened to me at the happiest moment of my life. When I was 16, I was in love, straight A student, hit by a car, in a coma for a week, and had a traumatic brain injury that just dragged me through hell for a bunch of years when I was young. I've also had some of the happiest things in my life happen when I was in the depths of despair. So I believe there's so much more nuance beyond like attracts like. What we want to do is use all of our experiences and not be afraid of those dark places, but actually use them and transform them, because they are sources of power and energy. So step one is we go down, into that underworld and find everything that we don't want in our life experience, personally and globally. And we use that and we build up the energy. And now we're getting into neurolinguistic programming and neuroplasticity, because when you light up all those neurons, then we can change things. That step one is uncover the root cause, the powerlessness, the hopelessness. That is like the flag saying, this is where it is.
Yes, and you also talk a lot about creating and finding what you call your money honey, and ridding yourself of your money monster. Right? We talked about that earlier. So Anna, can you tell us more about what this means and reveal who your money honey is?
Oh my gosh, Zen, I'm gonna die because you probably know this person. It's a Hollywood actor. I picked somebody that had my back and was a complete cowboy for whatever reason. It was Sam Elliott, okay?
Okay.
Do you know Sam? Oh my gosh, don't. And he's taken, please forgive me, Catherine Ross. But I literally had pictures of him on my phone. It's something about him having my back. He always plays the strongest character. He's always like, he's got the integrity. And I needed that. I didn't have support as a child, unfortunately. I grew up failing, like I had to fend for myself. I needed that archetyped. And Morgana says, talk to him as if he's a passenger in the car. I made this whole scenario. He sits, shotgun, so he can just stare at me. And that juicy feeling, that did the trick.
That did the trick. Now,
it's so good. Yeah.
It's quite interesting because it's a unique and a really receptive way to approach a difficult subject, right? When we talk about it. So, but according to Household Pulse survey, this is interesting. Almost 40% of American adults report that they struggle to make ends meet each month. And that's an increase from like 35% in 2022 and about 26 to 27% in 2021. It's all correlated, right? So your mood, your money, you're trying to make ends meet, you're not manifesting what you should be as a result of being stuck in a rut mentally and emotionally. So Morgana, do you think some people are destined to struggle with money, and how long does it take to stop the spiral?
If anybody is destined, I started out that way, where everything I didn't work. And what you just shared about the statistics and the insecurity is really important and really serious. It makes the world feel unsafe for all of us. And that's the place to start, by giving it personhood and rejecting the monster and making space for this new Sam Elliott honey who loves you. What it does is it calls forth, it relaxes you, it gives you access to your frontal lobe and your genius zone so that you can relate to the same circumstances, but you see new opportunities that you didn't see before. You are more resourceful, you are more creative, and that's when weird things happen. How long it takes, That's fun. I received a letter from a woman named Lynn Swanson who listened to me, slayed her money monster, met her money honey who looked like John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever. And when she asked him what he wanted her to do, because the final step is always take some kind of concrete measurable action, because we have bodies, so we need to use them. Action is magical. It lets us know the change is real. The action he wanted her to take made no sense. It was simply to transfer money from one bank account to another. And this is a woman with lots of drama, stress. She couldn't make payroll. And this is the solution. But she agrees to do it. She gets in the car, turns on the radio, and the Bee Gees are playing from Saturday Night Fever. That's the first kind of joke. And then she transfers the money from one bank account to another, gets the deposit slip, goes to Starbucks to pick up coffee for her office. And while she's standing in line, she's checking her phone, and she gets an email from a client that they had invoiced that morning who was paying all of it, a big tens of thousands of dollars invoice that very day that would more than pay for her payroll and pay off her debts. And she looked at the difference in the timestamp between the bank deposit and the email, and it was 2 minutes.
Wow.
So we just need to dial it in a little bit more.
There you go.
This can happen very fast.
It's pretty incredible. Now, Anna, do you relate to this process of money spiraling out of control, and what made the difference for you?
So I like the measurable result part, because I asked, one of her questions is to ask your money honey, what will it take to keep you in my life? And so clearly I heard Sam Elliott say, stop thinking about that guy that makes you feel small. And I realized in the bad relationship that was, like that was part of the negative self-talk. I wasn't identifying it until I heard that statement. I realized that mindset made me feel broke. And I went, that's it. If I let myself think about that guy that brought me down, I'm allowing that, I'm tuning into that frequency of being broke. And that transformed. As soon as I felt like somebody had my back, I made leaps and bounds. I really did.
It was almost like you were rejecting your money honey by sneaking off with the old guy.
100%. And he said, I'm not going to stay with you if you keep thinking about that guy. And I was like, whoa, this is like a triangle. It was really cool.
Wow, this is incredible. I love the session. We are out of time officially. I know we could talk forever, but we've officially gone over. Thank you so much both for coming on. Morgana, you're very insightful, incredible, amazing speaker. And Anna, you just know how to react to everything and ask all the right questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Morgana.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Achieving your dreams often requires you to get out of your comfort zone, and this can be scary, but you have to start by taking small steps, little ones. Also, remember to practice gratitude. While you plan for what you want, be thankful for what you have. An attitude of gratitude can help create a very positive mindset. That was our Discover Your Potential segment, brought to you by Body Align. That was co-host Anna DeVere and Morgana Ray, 20-time #1 international best-selling author of Financial Alchemy, 12 Months of Magic and Manifestation. Be sure to pick up a copy of Financial Alchemy so you can make money fall in love with you today. Check out Morgana at morganaray.com, or you could head on the gram and check her out at morgana.ray. And of course, see Morgana by heading to discoveryourpotentialshow.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Life can take unexpected turns. Meet Carrie Portal, a cattle rancher and professional speaker who has overcome partially disabling injuries to embrace a life of courage and resilience. As a survivor of an impaired driver, she refuses to let her injuries define her. Carrie's learned to adapt, push limits, and live life to the fullest. Join her as she shares her inspiring story on Cruisin' Cowgirl, a new TV series streaming on yourhometv.com and Roku.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is sponsored by FinTech TV.
FinTech TV, the newest streaming channel focused exclusively on the business of blockchain, digital assets, and sustainability. Broadcasting from our studio on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with daily reports from NASDAQ, global expansion, and 24/7 coverage. Become part of the launch. Head to fintech.tv/invest. fintech.tv/invest.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
Welcome back to America's favorite pharmacist segment, brought to you by our friends over at Optimizers. On A Moment of Zen, 710 WOR, voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm Philip Cowley, pharmaceutical expert, and today we'll be chatting about sleep and how to find more of it. Sleep's one of those things that I think eludes most Americans. I started when I was about 8 years old. My parents would turn on MASH, and I knew at the end of that, when that song started to play, the house would go quiet, and I'd be up alone. And as an 8-year-old, there was nothing more terrifying than being up all night all by yourself. So when I went into the pharmacy, the first thing I wanted to figure out was how to sleep. And I found out pretty rapidly that it's really tough to find even when you know all the medications to take and all the natural stuff to take. But we're going to go through them today to help you be educated so you can choose. So you won't have to worry about the next time that the MASH song plays, and as an 8-year-old, you're sitting quietly in the dark thinking, oh no, I will never ever go to sleep. I always tell everybody to start out with magnesium. Magnesium is super cool stuff, and half of America doesn't absorb enough magnesium in order to complete everything we need with it. Now, magnesium is essential in producing GABA. Gamma butyric acid is one of the most important neurotransmitters that we have, and that's because it's our main inhibitory neurotransmitter, meaning it's the thing that tells your brain it's okay, you can start to go to sleep now. But when we have not enough magnesium, especially when we take it in forms that are harder to take, that's the reason why I do like the Optimizers total magnesium, because you get a little bit of every kind of magnesium, so you absorb it at the top of the GI system all the way down to the bottom. That helps us produce more GABA. The more GABA that you produce, the more likely you are to go to sleep. So before you reach for anything else, magnesium, and really 50% of us don't have enough magnesium. Second thing you can reach for is all the products that have PM in them. Now, PM products have one ingredient. They look different, but they're the same thing. Every one of them has diphenhydramine in them. Now, all the Tylenol PM, your ibuprofen PM, all of them have a few side effects along with them, but they do help. So with an antihistamine, it blocks both the H1 and H2 receptors. Now, histamine is one of those things that makes us alert, get up and go. It's the fight or flight thing. And it's so we can get out of situations. When you block it, the opposite happens. You get groggy, your brain slows down, and you're able to knock out some of that stuff that we call sleep anxiety. If you have issues with your prostate or constipation or dry mouth, it's going to lead to more problems. So it's good occasionally, but you don't want to use it all the time. And then finally, we want to look at magnolia root. Now, I love magnolia root because magnolia root works very similar to ways that some of your more prescription items do. It helps open up the channel of the GABA, not just produce more of it, which helps you sleep even more. So as you go out there looking for sleep remedies, those are my 3 favorite, and that's where I would start. This is Phil Cowley, pharmaceutical expert, and that was America's favorite pharmacist segment, brought to you by Optimizers. You're listening to A Moment of Zen, here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio, and we'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Join news reporter Gina Tomlinson and real estate expert Ralph Nudie as Gina gets nudie to show you the hottest places to eat, stay, and play in the world's best beach towns. Tune in to Nudie on the Beach, streaming on Your Home TV at nudieonthebeach.tv. That's NUDI on the beach.tv.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
Well, that's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, and all episodes of A Moment of Zen stream on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV platform. That's free programming to you. You can head directly to our channel at mox.yourhometv.com. Thank you for listening to A Moment of Zen. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks to all of our sponsors that continue to make the show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it. We'll see you next week.